So if you get asked a positive question, think about reiterating the positivity of that and then answering. If you get asked a negative question, think about a way you can block and bridge it to something positive. Make sense? Great. Lead the camera. We talked about this thing, the same thing, leading the camera or accepting the camera. So Alberto mentioned if, I guess what I wanted to talk about here is if you're on a panel, so or maybe in a remote site, and the camera is going to cut to you or it's going to cut to someone else. So say Alberto is over on that end of the panel, I'm on this end of the panel. I ask a question that I'm going to direct to Alberto. I might say, okay, so our company has been massively successful because of all the IT stuff that we've had, and I'm going to have Alberto take charge of this next question.
Thank you, Jack.
So before I finish answering my question, I've already led to him. Now, it looks a little different because we're in real life here, but imagine there was a cut, and the cut would look a little less abrupt if I had just done the head tilt to the next person. Make sense? Okay. Practice. A lot of things you need to practice. Like I said, this is not a comfortable situation doing an on-camera interview. Practice the eye contact, that weird thing I showed you with Sagnick asking me questions, the camera being here, and me talking to an empty chair just because it's going to look better on camera. It's something you need to get used to and think about practicing. Alberto has a speaking voice exercise I want to show you in a minute. The other thing I want to suggest you do a lot of practice on is this on tense. Think about the common questions, think about how that fits into your key messages, and think about how that can be broken down into sound bites. Because the level of preparation that you need will surprise you. You may think you're prepared for an interview because you go over some questions the night before, but once you get in that studio environment, once you get off your game, once you realize how high the stakes are, you may realize that you did not get as fluent with this content as you really want to be. In terms of engaging a natural speaking voice, Alberto has a really interesting exercise, the 1, 2, 3.
So one of the things that we do in the MFA acting program at Mason Gross is that we try to find your natural tone. And everybody has a timbre or tone that is where their actual voice really sits. And when you are speaking in that natural timbre tone, people perceive you as authentic much more, and they're more willing to buy your message. And there's a very easy exercise that you can do. I'm going to do it first, then I want you guys to do it, okay? What you do is you count all the way to 10, and then you go back down and you count to 3, but when you get to 3, you hold the tone. So this is how I find my natural timbre of voice. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, this is my tone of voice. As you can hear, it is the exact same tone of voice that I'm teaching, i.e. conferencing in. Do you hear the difference? As opposed if I was talking to you like this, you immediately hear, or if I'm trying to sound deeper, you immediately hear the difference in that, right? So just do this exercise with me, okay? So we're going to go all the way to 10, and then we're going to hold 3, and then I want you to say, after you hold 3, you're going to go 3, hello, my name is, and actually say your name. This is a wonderful tool to make sure that when you're going even into an interview, that when you introduce yourself, you're coming across as authentic. And it goes, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3. Hello, my name is. That is the tone. So if you're ever talking with somebody and all of a sudden you think that you're talking really high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, that's where I'm supposed to be. Does that make sense?
Just reminds you to get back into your natural voice. And we want to find your natural voice in this stilted, bizarre medium that confuses us sometimes. Okay, press conferences. So, you're announcing a new product launch, your company just spilled a bunch of oil, something bad happened, something good happened, something that you want to hold a press conference for. You choose a press conference as the CEO or as a management in a company. And I want to ask you why you choose a press conference. Why would you hold it? And I'll give you the answer I'm looking for. Is that not only do you have a message that you're trying to portray to your audience, but you are important as the key messenger. So if you just wanted to get the message out, you could issue a press release and say, hey, we're sorry we spilled a bunch of oil, we're really excited about our new phone. But the fact that you are an important part of this message is why you hold a press conference. So you need to think about both. You need to think about who are you to this company and how are you as the messenger going to enhance this message and how you're going to make the message as powerful as possible. So you read a prepared statement and you think about who you are and how you can add to that with your personal credibility. Statement length. You want to think about a newsworthy press conference because you can't force the TV networks to rebroadcast your entire press conference. You can't pick and choose which messages they pull out. You just need to think about what helps them do their job effectively. Does that make sense? So you're going to hold a press conference. What is going to help these news networks do their job effectively? I'm going to give them the tools they need to represent me as best they can. If your press conference is too short, it may look like you're hiding something, it may look like you're wasting the time of these reporters who got here to hear your press conference. If it's too long, you get into another problem. It may bore your audience. It also may offer too much. You don't want to give these reporters too many things to pick from where they can rebroadcast on the 6 o'clock news. You want to keep it nice and concise, chock full of your good key sound bites. If you get some questions in this press conference, I suggest using the same technique with the interview. If you get a positive question, reiterate the positive question, answer it. If you get a negative question, use the blocking and bridging technique. All right, any questions? Excellent. So we are going to move on. We are right on schedule. We're going to move on. First, we're going to do the video conference. Then we're going to do the on-camera interviews. Then we're going to do the press conference. And the way we're going to do this is, let me pull out the shot. We're going to start with the live-long video conference, but in terms of where we're going to be, we're going to have, Alberto's going to set it up. So we're going to have, okay. We are going to have, all right. So, did everyone glance, even if you didn't do the live long thing, did everyone glance at it and maybe quickly read the scenario? Well, you'll have a few minutes to do that as we're getting settled in the room and getting set up. So, as we're moving to our specific locations, if you're just watching, you're going to come with me to a different room, and you're going to try to read the scenario really quickly so you know what's going on. What we're going to have for this life insurance, we're going to have Natalie and the rest of the class. Natalie's gone, but the rest of the class is going to be in room 306. We're going to cram in there. Alberto's got it all set up. Let's have Mumbai, which is Yang and Helen, in here. And Yang, you're set up on Skype, right? Okay. And then New York, which is Sagnik and Jerry, you are going to be in room, let's see. You're going to be in room. Okay. The rest of the class, we're going to go to 306. And Sagnik and Jerry, you're going to be in 304. 304. So, but yeah, but let's do this first. Can you? Yeah, let's all go to 306 together, and then we'll have you three sit in a corner together and get your Skype on.
Who is three?
Yang, you, and Natalie. You're gonna put your computers together and trade Skype names and get it set up so the Skype. So everyone who is not involved in this, we're going to come cram in room 306 and get ready to watch.
We just need to put stuff here, right? do we take our stuff or do we keep our stuff here?
I would take anything valuable. You need a computer, right? Laptop, right?
Yeah, but I thought we were going to come here and. I mean, I can take my laptop. I don't know.
You're going to. We're going to come in room. All right, first, everyone's going to go to room 306. Does everyone go to room 306? Let's start there. And yeah. You can bring your laptop with you, but you're going to use my laptop now to log on to Zoom. Nick and Yang. All right, so this is position yourselves to talk some annuity processing stuff, and then hopefully the other stuff will come on in a minute. If it doesn't come on, as long as we can see you, that's the main important thing, and you can hear us.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, please can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes. We cannot see that.
I can see Nat. I cannot see Segnic.
Can anyone see me? Yeah, we can see you. I cannot see Nat. I can see Yang.
I cannot see Segnic. I can see Nat. Alright, we have everybody.
Can you see us then? Everyone, Yang?
Yes.
Okay, thank you all for joining today. My name is Nat Scotto, VP of Processing and Sales. Can I know who else is on the call, please?
Yes, this is Yang Mulligan. I'm the head of the annuity processing. I'm in Mumbai, India.
And this is Helen Yu. I'm the project manager. Hello.
This is Mr. Sakik Saha, and I'm the head of annuity sales. I'm in the New York City office.
This is Jerry. I'm VP of Information Technology, and I'm also in New York.
Okay, great. I hope you're all doing well today. I thought it best to... I thought it best to schedule this call to address some of the issues we've been facing with our new online system. My hopes is that we can leave this call with some kind of understanding as to how we can move forward. I really believe that ultimately, if we really improve this online system, it'll help our goals and we'll see the profits due to it. I guess first let's hear from maybe some of you regarding some of the challenges you're facing regarding the implementation of this new system.
I think I'm fully supporting the online system. The problem I see is it takes such a long time to complete the online procedure, and I think my clients, they're getting anxious. If they get too long, they don't want to have like a second application after 40 days of waiting period. So we really hope that the sales team can help us facilitate the whole procedure to make it more efficient, and us as a back office will fully support.
I'm the project manager, so I think my main role is listen to you guys and then follow your final decision.
This is the head of annuity sales. The online system is actually hard. It's very difficult for me to go and convince the sales and the bankers to use this new technology. Already they are having, it's very difficult to get customers and teach them this new system. And I really do not want our sales targets to go down, and I hate the slow processing. So if the system makes things more slower, then my sales targets will go down, and I have never missed on sales targets in my life, my career. Okay, Simon, as I understand it, you're worried that you'll be losing sales to some of your bankers? Yes. I'm worried about. What if we were somehow keep some kind of skeleton team behind doing the paper online processing, and at the same time training most of our force to, really go hard at the online system? Sure. And we can always incentivize them to also keep the paper applications as well. Okay. I dislike slow processing because if the 90-day limit is reached, and we do not get them trained at that time, then our staff will likely lose the sales. So the 90 day is my biggest target.
Well, I think as a back office, we can help or train your salespeople a little bit more about how to fill up information more accurately. So in this way, if everything move up to speed, we can usually finish everything in 23 days. It will be much more efficient than doing by your salespeople hand submit the documents manually.
Sure. I mean, I like the option of having the paper options too, in case we lose on the online banking system, we lose days and we lose sales. So having both of them open is a better idea.
Yeah, so I'm the VP of IT, and my problem is I believe we need to gain more acceptance for online because we need more in order to make the system better. We need more cash to do it, and I believe that if there's greater acceptance, then it will justify the cost. Because right now, all my money is tied up with the processing people. There's 125 of them, and in order to make the system fix the system and make it good, I need $10 million, and I also need like $1 billion in sales revenue to generate to justify it. But I believe that but the thing is, in order to get $10 million, we might have to lay off some processing people, about 40. So that's a problem. Like either my problem is system or like to lay off some people to make up the money to make the online system.
Okay, well, perhaps we can cross-train those individuals that you would have to lay off and I guess allocate their services to other departments within the organization.
I thought that my gather is that we need to lay off 40 people in order to get enough money in labor, because 10 million is basically the labor that you pay them to do the job. So I don't know if cross-training them would help the situation, because it's a money situation.
Right, so what do you suggest?
Well, we could either maintain what we have now, or in order to fully have the system up and running, we probably get $10 million, unless we get budget elsewhere to give to allocate to my department for $10 million. I don't know if that's possible.
I'm kind of confused where this question is directing at. Are you directing to us or are you directing at Natalie?
Yeah, like is there $10 million elsewhere that either you can profit that you can donate to the IT team to make the system to fix the system and get it up and running?
Well, can we perhaps take the budget from the processing team? Can we reduce the headcount in processing at all if the online system gets up and running?
Well, we
That
have.
helped the goal. Reduce headcount, 40 people headcount in order to get the $10 million. Because I think that all the processing team all the IT money is tied up in processing right now.
Well, I think we have no problem to, if we can find the right position for the other 40 people, to retrain them and put them somewhere else. But I don't think we should carry the budget. Because over the past, it's always the sales team get all the bonus when performing well. And the sales team has always been cost center, so we cannot put more money for that purpose.
I have a question to the Mumbai office also, which is my concern. Although I know you guys are going to have paper applications, and you think at the Mumbai office that you can train people with the online system. In the past, it has also been told that you are going to do the online system, but it has always been a delay. What are the corrective actions that you think you are going to take in the future in order to not have the delay anymore, and you are more confident that that's going to work and it's not going to lower down sales?
Are you talking about online system?
Yeah.
I'll direct to you. You are the project for online.
I think, can we get some help from the IT department, Jerry?
Yeah.
Are you gonna, support us to, try your best to eliminate the errors that will happen when we type the client's information into the computer? manager, things like that. I think if we can train, after work or something, or sometimes else. I mean, we need your help.
Sure, we will help.
Have you guys tried out taking help about the online system from the IT previously?
I'm sorry. Can you clarify your question again?
I mean, in the past also the online system has online processing has been you guys have tried the online processing, and did you take help from the IT previously? Was it a different team? Why was it not efficient at that point?
So you mean why this online system is not efficient?
Yeah. Now, how do you think that it's going to be efficient right now or in the future? And why was it not efficient in the past? Like in the past, also you guys have worked with the IT, but it has been slow. How do you think it's going to be efficient now?
So I think it's slow is because maybe the bankers and the salespersons, they cannot get used into how to fill out this online form. But I think as long as we can get some help from the IT department or somewhere else, I think we can improve this speed of typing, and also we can eliminate the errors. So I think as long as you give us maybe a couple of weeks, let all the people in the department get used into this online system, it will not be a problem anymore.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to just maybe summarize our points. I have 4 points to make. First of all is we will help to train the sales team to make sure you reduce the input errors, and that's probably will be the biggest problem you have on the other end. Second is we will try to, if everybody moving at full speed, we can get everything done in 23 days, and it will easily meet the 90-day requirement, so we can secure a fund. And third thing is say, we feel like the processing team has always been very supportive to the sales team, and we have always been a cost center, so this investment for the online system, the cost should be variable by the sales team. We really cannot afford another expense. And the last but not least is if we can save money from save all the papers and save all the labors from filling up the paperwork, we actually can save some cost. I believe the cost will be some way we can make up the expenses for the online system. And that's another reason why we strongly suggest just keep an online system rather than having a paper writing system at the same time.
Thank you.
I suggest we follow up on this, maybe next week, have another call to discuss what's transpired since, and see if we can just make some decisions from there.
Okay, thank you for the time and have a good day.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Nice meeting you guys.
Come back. Come back.
Goodbye. All right.
When do we
这应该没我什么事儿，我就是执行你们最后的决定。
You have been charged with implementing.
对对，这是最后的。
对啊，你就说 however salespeople has been fairly slow to use it, person has been slow to right now. We are eager to know how to do it.
对，应该就是我就听你们。
但是他为什么老是问你
discuss
这个
之后？
OK，因为他在问你，就是问那个，
对，
然后那个问你们那个 IT，我都不知道你们 IT 的那个东西。
原来我都没太听懂他什么问题。
你的东西都拿了吧？
我就放这儿了。电脑，放电脑。
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Then the second part is, I think, please also discuss some interesting historical insights that can be gleaned about actual events and the historical contribution of the graph to the field of statistics. But I could, you know, just go and I'm just going to fill it.
All right. You want to briefly mention War and Peace? I mean,
What?
in case someone has been watching it on BBC.
What was I mentioned?
War and Peace, the
War?
series.
Oh, I don't know. What is it?
That's the same, you know, historical background of the.
Oh, do you want me to go about the?
I mean, I can sort of, you know, riff.
Should we go? Should we go? Should we? Okay. Where's us? We can't see us.
Well, that's because I.
Oh, okay. Are we going to go back and forth like a discussion, or
I
are we
think,
going to go?
I think that would be better.
Yeah, kind of
you know,
like.
just sort of, you know, pass it to you.
Oh, okay, fine. This is like okay, get in. Are you in? You're not in.
Not
Get
in.
in. Get in equally. Okay. And should we take questions from them also?
Yeah.
Okay. How's our positioning? I think the position is pretty
I think
good.
it's good, yeah.
I think we should get our microphone on. You starting or am I starting? Something must start. It's welcome. So.
Good afternoon.
I think it's jammed.
It's Jam.
I don't know. But we
Okay.
still be turned on.
Sorry, moving. Yeah, this is really helpful. Thanks. The one with the Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, I marked up some of the names because
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's a bit blurry.
Who's next?
So now, like,
This is too close.
yeah, right. All right. So
I'm gonna go see what's going on.
okay.
What's going on up there? Are you trying again?
Hello.
Are we there?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing the video turned off. Hello. Oh, whoops.
Can you see this?
No, I don't see a video, but I can hear you.
Hold on 1 second.
Here.
Wait. There.
Hello. That's okay.
Yes. Should get a shoot.
Make a snap, right?
Not sure how. Oh yeah, that could work. Not sure how, but somehow it seems to work. But you want your lease?
Yeah.
Okay, this part doesn't count. Okay, we.
You can hear us though, right?
Yeah, we could hear you, but give us 1 second.
We're having some technical difficulty.
Yeah, just a,
Take your time.
okay. Oh gosh. Okay. What?
Yeah, I was just put like there. It's lost.
Hello everybody, welcome. Today we're going to do a short presentation about Charles Menard's chart, which you guys have, which is basically a story of the French mission that they had when they went to war with Russia. So I'm going to hand it off to Janine. He's going to give us a little bit of an overview, and then we're going to just have a back and forth discussion. We'd love to hear questions from you guys as well as we go along.
Thank you, Levi. In the year 1812, Napoleon Bonaparte, the emperor of the French Empire, commanded his grand army on an expedition to invade Russia. Their objective was to take over their capital city, Moscow, in a series of swift and effective campaigns. And if you refer to the chart, on the very left-hand side, you start out with a river that's called Kovno. The W is pronounced like a V. And you'll notice that there's a light gray bar, a massive light gray bar. That represents the overall strength of the French army in terms of manpower. And it progresses from left to right. Now, the interesting thing about this chart is that it represents a number of criteria, measurements, not just one. On the one hand, the thickness of the bar represents the manpower of the French army, and it decreases over time. On the other hand, the chart is also a map, the left being the west and the right side being the east. And the bar also serves as an arrow indicating the directions and the path of the French army as they travel from west towards Moscow in the east. Now, Levi, did you want to talk a little bit about how it decreases?
Yeah, so as you could see, the thickness of the bar as we go along towards the right side of the paper decreases. And what that indicates is actually the loss of men. Each millimeter represents 10,000 men. So what you could see quite clearly is as Napoleon advances towards Moscow, towards Russia, he loses soldiers, and you could just see it like illustrated, so it's quite clear, the percentage, and he's just losing and losing and losing as he goes along. As you get all the way to the right of the page, you can see there's a black bar underneath the grey bar, and that bar actually represents Napoleon's retreat from Moscow all the way back to the French territory. And again, we see the same pattern of this bar, and now the bar is going to be moving across the other way, and as we go along, the bar decreases till eventually it shows his actual return to the French territory with only 10,000 men.
That's right. Thank you, Levi. And another important measurement that we want you to pay attention to is the element of temperature. If you look at the very bottom of the chart, the temperature, there's a line indicating the fluctuation of temperature as they enter further into the winter. And as we know, winter time in Russia is not a good time, and it's not a good time. And if you went unprepared, you're going to have a bad time. So, interestingly enough, as we see the black bar decreasing drastically as they progress towards the winter, the loss of life, the drastic decrease in the thickness of the black bar corresponds to the drastic decreases in temperature. Now, for instance, let's look at one of the points here. Now, can we find Smolensk and Doroboy on the map? The cities Smolensk. Okay. On the bottom of the chart, for instance, there's one area that says -21 and something in French and the number 14. That actually represents November 14, and that temperature is actually -15.25 Fahrenheit, and which is also -26 in Celsius. And as you can see, when it reaches a very low temperature, above it, the black bar has suffered a significant decrease. So this is an indication that a great number of casualties that the French army endured was due to inclement weather. Now, just to give you something, just put it into perspective here, the French army, when they entered Moscow on the very far right, is approximately 100,000 men. When they were forced to leave Moscow because the Russians employed a tactic called the scorched earth policy, meaning they destroy and otherwise torch all buildings and resources that could be used by the invading army, the French army was forced to leave Moscow and retreat towards French-controlled territory. And interestingly enough, they left Moscow with the same number of men. So not a lot of men died as a result of arson in Moscow. So they lost more men to the elements of nature than actual combat or any other human activities.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just to clarify, the bottom part of the chart there's two. It signifies two things. It signifies the weather and the dates of their retreat. And there's some key elements, some key dates. I believe the chart that you have is the French one, so it's a little bit difficult to kind of read the weather and the dates on it because they were using different units then. Just to give you an indication, when they leave Moscow, the temperature is 32, so that's kind of quite cold, freezing cold. And you can see as they progress in their retreat, the temperature just continues to drop further and further more. So, in summary, this chart really shows a few things. So it shows the number of troops that they leave with, and as also the decrease in the troops. It shows the advance of the army both in longitude and latitude, because you could see as they move towards the right of the page, that's them advancing more towards east, and you could see also the graph goes up and down a little bit. That's also longitude. If you were to put this on top of a map of Europe, this would actually signify exactly where their march went through, exactly which cities and which parts of Europe. So that's signified on the map. We have some other interesting, we got the dates, we got the temperature, those are all signified on this. Kind of what this very simple chart, that's all it is, it's one piece of paper, but it's giving a full story. Most of us would think if we wanted to give a story of this major campaign, you would have numerous charts and numerous graphs showing all these different things. So the interesting thing that Charles Menard managed to do was take all these concepts and just put them all together on one page, which is really, I don't think he's ever been termed the father of statistical graphs, but he really was one of the first people to make statistical graphs and show how powerful they are when we want to get our point across. An interesting thing about this graph is if you look at it and you understand it, so you could see, they left with 422,000 people and they come back with 10,000 people. It really tells a story that he wanted to get across, which was that war is bad. This graph has also been termed the image that made a nation cry, because it's such a simple thing and you see such tragedy in it and it's like, he doesn't even need to write it out or spell it out for you in order for you just to kind of understand this concept of like, wow, this was a real failure. This should have not happened at all. Jennings, is anything you want to add, or anything you want to add?
That was a great summary by Larry. Thank you. And I just wanted to add that I just wanted to testify that personally, when we were researching this graph, when we were looking at the story behind it, there really wasn't much else we could learn from the graph. Everything that we found out from text, from articles, confirmed our understanding of the graph once we had a pretty good look at it. So in that respect, I have to agree that the author of this graph, Monsieur Minard, really did his job. He really, exemplified the saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it really is mind-boggling. And that concludes our presentation.
Okay, come back to the room, and we'll do the interview. Great work.
Thank you.
All right. Done.
Done. No,
It was good, eh? We went there for something we.
Great summary there.
No, well, we winged it because we didn't prepare together.
Huh?
So the winging was we didn't prepare together.
Yeah, well, it's done. So.